Forgive that small technical hitch there. We'll start the bulletin now from Parliament, where the minority in Parliament has defended its spokesperson on Foreign Affairs, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, who has come under fire from the majority for allegedly leaking sensitive information from the committee to social media. Mr. Ablakwa earlier this week alleged that government planned to buy a property for an embassy in Oslo at a cost of $12 million. Now, he had claimed the property was inflated by $8.5 million because the current owner bought it for $3.5 million in 2017 and was selling it to government for $12 million. Deputy Minority Leader James Kluche Aveji says Mr. Ablakwa is only doing his work.
If you don't want him to unearth any unethical behavior or anything that is being done by the committee or by the ministry, the sector ministry, which amount to corruption, then they should stop those activities or those actions. Once they stopped, probably what they are defining to be a nuisance will not happen. First of all, he as a chairman of the committee has no locus. He has no power over the ranking member. In fact, they are of equal level. The only that he is a chairman and then the ranking member represent the minority side of the House. First of all, the membership of every committee is determined by the committee of selection. It's not determined by me. It is not determined by any member, not even the leaders alone. It is determined by the committee of selection, which is chaired by Mr. Speaker. That is one. Two, who become the ranking member of a committee is determined by the leadership of the caucus. So in case of minority, it is we, the leadership of our caucus, that determine who become the ranking member on a particular committee. So Honorable Okudzeto-Ablakwa will continue to be the ranking member of the Foreign Affairs Committee. Okay. The chairman has no power over that. If he thinks that Honorable Okudzeto-Ablakwa is becoming too hot for him, he cannot match him, he cannot handle him, the best thing for him to do is for him to tell his leadership of his caucus that said, I cannot match Okudzeto-Ablakwa. Can you change me to a different committee? That can be done by his leadership, but he cannot tell us that he doesn't want to work with Okudzeto, therefore it should be removed.
Still in Parliament, the minority is accusing Agric Minister Dr. Akoto Owusu-Efriye of mismanaging the agric sector. This follows disclosures in a report of the Food and Agric Committee of Parliament that 50,000 metric tons of subsidized fertilizer worth $12 million has been smuggled to neighboring countries. The committee also expressed concern about government's inability to provide 140 million cedis needed for fertilizer subsidy program in 2019, allocating only 47 million cedis. Eric Opoku is ranking member on the Parliament's Agric Committee.
It's informed again that 50,000 metric tons worth $12 million of subsidized fertilizers were smuggled to neighboring Burkina Faso and Togo. And we're doing the estimates for 2019. So we wanted to look at what we're able to achieve in 2018. And then based upon that, we can also look for justifications for the projections into 2019. And this information came from the minister himself. They are trying to find a window of escape. But the truth is that as early as July 2017, the Volta Regional Minister, while addressing the Volta Regional Coordinating Council, indicated that reports reaching him indicate that fertilizers were being smuggled to Togo. So all this while, if you recall, even during the debate on policies, I raised the issue of smuggling. And the minister before the committee alluded to the fact that 50,000 metric tons of fertilizer bought for the 2018 Planting for Food and Jobs program were smuggled.
How did this happen?
And the cost of the fertilizer is $12 million. So under their watch, this nation has lost $12 million through smuggling of fertilizer.
But the Deputy Minister of Agriculture, Kennedy Osei, insists the fertilizer subsidy program was rather mismanaged under the NDC.
This have been going on for the past 8 years that they were in power. And we were able to identify it last year, somewhere 2017. Okay? And we decided to put measures in place to make sure that we will reduce or we make sure that we just annihilate it at all. And that is what exactly we have been working on. In 2018, we started piloting some electronic measures to make sure that fertilizers will be sent, subsidized fertilizer will be sent directly to the farmer through an electronic means. And that is what we are going to implement in 2019. Okay? Those farmers that got hooked on electronically were able to redeem their fertilizer, their subsidized fertilizers from the dealers at the local level, and none of them have complained. So we were trying to just monitor the manual one with the electronic one to see which one was good. When we realized that we're facing a little challenges with the manual one, okay, that is where most of them were smuggling. Have you forgotten that when we were going recently, we apprehended some party chairman, which was an NDC party chairman in Sisala, who has smuggled fertilizer?
Away from Parliament, but still in the agricultural sector, cocoa farmers registered with the Cocoa Certification Organization, Fairtrade, will earn some 11% more on a bag of cocoa than the producer price, which currently was officially announced by government in October this year. The current price of a bag of cocoa, as announced by government, is pegged at some 475 Ghana cedis. But from October 2019, Fairtrade has declared a bag of cocoa to be selling at some 535 Ghana cedis. President of Fairtrade Ghana Network, Johannes Kumejro, promised cocoa farmers bonuses if they sold directly to Fairtrade. We'll bring you more from the story. And former correspondent Henry Kwesi Pedu.
Cocoa farmers across Ghana protested vehemently as Cocoa Board announced producer price of cocoa at 7,600 Ghana cedis per metric ton and 475 Ghana cedis per bag in October this year. They described the pricing as poor. But Cocoa Board explained the 475 price tag is as a result of drastic fall of the commodity on the world market. However, the Fairtrade Ghana Network announced a higher package on a bag of cocoa today.
We are increasing the Fairtrade minimum price for our Fairtrade certified producers from $2,000 per ton to $2,400. That's an increase of 20%. And then we are also increasing the premium. The premium is an additional income that is given to the farmer or to the farmers for development issues that they face within their community, and also they could spend it as extra income for themselves. That is cash bonuses. So it is very important that we make this announcement and to encourage not only the government to commit to fair trade, especially those that the government deals with, that is the buyers they deal with. If they can buy our produce on fair trade terms, I think it will help a lot of the farmers to improve upon their lives and come out of the poverty levels that they are carried. Some of them find themselves under.
Some members entreated other cocoa farmers to sell under fair trade terms.
I sell my cocoa to Fair Trade International because they are giving us bonuses. That's why I sell my cocoa to them. After I have received my 475 as the minimum price for cocoa, they will add extra money, which is 25 cedi per bag. I will entreat every farmer to come and then sell their cocoa to Fair Trade because they will get extra money.
Meanwhile, President of the Sunafo North Cocoa Farmers Corporation, Patrick Owusu-Goso, is calling on government to help curb the menace of deforestation, which is affecting cocoa farmers.
Because today, farming is very difficult. The farming business is no longer motivating. You cultivate about 1,000 seedlings today, and next year, maybe 300 will be there. All of them will die off as a result of harmattan and climate change issues. Because as we speak, the harmattan in our area is so much, and all because of the deforestation that we are experiencing in the highest order in our time, in recent days. So we are saying that if government really care for farmers, if government really wants to promote agriculture in Esunafo and other parts of the country, they need to tackle deforestation as a major issue in the cocoa sector.
The Fair Trade certified cocoa producers called on the government through Cocoa Board and other stakeholders in the cocoa sector to commit to buying under fair trade terms to enable cocoa farmers earn a decent income to help reduce poverty in the agricultural sector. For JoyNews, Henry Bedu's report.
Now, with just 5 days to Christmas, clients of gold dealership firm Men's Gold are angry and desperate to collect their investment funds. Scores of customers besieged the Jolu office on Thursday to protest another broken promise made to them in October this year. Now, the company had pledged to pay 5% of locked-up investments of clients who registered for their new online trading platform, but that promise was broken. These customers have vowed to stage a series of protests until they get their money back. Nancy Emefa Dradosi has been meeting them.
Desperate, Men's Gold customers have once again besieged the company's Jolu office in Accra. The place has become a scene where angry clients go to vehemently negotiate to collect their investment funds and also vent their frustrations. The once loyal customers of Men's Gold pointed to another broken promise from management made in October 2018. That promise was to pay 5% of locked up investment of clients who registered for their new online trading platform. But again, this did not happen.
The guy tricked some of us. I paid the money, and up to now, that 5%, I haven't got that 5%. And the migration time also has ended. Look at me. I have children. My wife, I have a lot of people that are looking up to me. And now, look at me. The 5% too is here. Instead of them to come and pay me, they are not paying.
But for these police officers stationed at the premises, the situation could have gotten out of hand, as angry customers had planned to block the roads and burn tires. These gentlemen sustained some injuries in a scuffle with the police.
I was here this morning and the police has tortured me. Now I can't even drive my own car. Look at me. Look at me. Let me show everything to you people. You understand? All these marks. I can't move even my own car. How can I live in my own country and become a slave?
Some also shared their untold stories of how difficult life has been for them.
Because we want people to die because of this thing. My mother, she's dying. If she's standing right in front of you, she'll just urinate on herself because of this money. Because of this money.
Is it her money that is there?
Yes, it's my mother money and my money.
Our families are dying. As I stand here, I have 3 kids. I can't pay school fees. They are in private schools. I can't pay their school fees. They haven't write their exam this term. And we need them to come to our aid. Other than that, we'll do whatever we'll do by legal or foul me.
Yes, Reno. Yadinyami Sereno. Say, Omumba Samu Wemumaye. Mimi Mamia did 94 years. And I lost my sister. And for these few months, I've gone through a lot. Yes, Reno.
Meanwhile, management of Men's Gold is yet to respond to any of these claims. These customers have vowed to push and protest until something positive happens.
And before we go, armed men have shot and killed a gold dealer at also in the Amansia South District, where 7 Kumasi-based Zongo youth were gunned down by police earlier this year. This is the second of such incidents in 2 weeks after 3 people were also shot at Manso Ponopono, leaving them in critical conditions. Ohimin Teria has more in the following report.
The identity of the deceased victim and other details are unavailable, but reports suggest the attack occurred on Tuesday. Authorities in the district are worried about activities of rebel gangs in the area with suspected local collaboration. District Chief Executive William Asante Bediako who also heads the security committee, believes some residents have teamed up with outsiders to perpetrate such crime. He says intelligence points to several planned robbery attacks to be undertaken by the groups during the Christmas festivities. Though he will not mention names, he revealed some communities in the district have become safe haven for armed gangs.
I can tell you that we have several robbery gangs that operate in this area. That one I can tell you.
Did DISEC receive information?
I'm telling you that we have information on robbery gangs that operate in my area. I can mention some of the communities where they operate from. I can mention some of their syndicates in Kumasi. No.
Please mention the communities they operate
in Kumasi, where some of these gangs operate from. I can tell you where some of the gangs, they take their arms and whatever from to come and operate here and go back. But I want to say that nobody is happy. Nobody was happy for what happened. And we are praying it doesn't happen again. But if I'm to tell you the kind of threats we are going through now, because robbers still want to strike.
All this comes on the back of killing of what became known as the Zongo 7 in the area that has seen influx of people due to mining activities. Mr. Bediako is worried about the reluctance of residents to give information on criminals in the area to police or DISEC. He commends police for their continued support in promoting security in the area despite recent setbacks.
You know, my own life has been in my hands for so many months now. I'm a target of attacks here and there. At the point I even have to leave this country for a while. And so it depends on where anybody is sitting. You can say whatever you want to say, but I want to say that threats in this area is real. And I want to commend the Ghana Police Service. They have still given us the SWAT team to be here, and they are monitoring our roles, especially at dawns and in the evenings, because our intelligence is telling us that armed robbers want to still strike, especially getting to this Christmas Eve. So the SWAT team here, they don't sleep in the evenings and in the nights. In the evenings, in the nights, and at dawn, because the armed robbers are unrelenting.
From Kumasi, for JoyNews, Ohimenteria reports.
Well, that wraps it up for the news headlines, but most certainly not for the show. There's so much more to come. Big conversation on the last AM Talk for 2018 when we get to grips with some important issues, including missing fertilizer. And also, Christmas is coming. How do we get our decoration on? And what do the decorations actually represent and mean? A bit of education and, of course, a lot of Christmas cheer from Mapitso and Komla later. But first, of course, we'll get into the headlines, won't we, Roland? News headlines, newspaper headlines, right?
That's right.
Yeah, right after this.